Roy James with Love My Pups, My British Supply. Getting down on the home stretch. Now it's finding puppies. What are we going to do with these puppies? How are we going to find homes for them? How are we going to basically market our puppies? Well, I want to back up a second. I want to say one thing about weaning I didn't put in there last time, and that is be a little careful when you've got some puppies that want to beat up on other puppies. Puppies have to learn how to behave with other puppies. This is part of the socialization. They've got to learn how to behave with other animals that might be present, like other dogs and cats. So to be introduced to those animals under supervision is a good idea. But puppies tend to have that, well, puppies will have their pecking order. You're going to have some alphas and you're going to have some juniors, some servient dogs, and they have to learn their own way. But if they're starting to beat up on each other, then you may have to step in and use a little bit of discouragement from puppies that are beating up on other puppies. And if it gets too bad, you may have to separate puppies. I mean, I've been in situations when puppies are getting to the point where they're 8, 9 weeks old, where I've got them in 2 different areas because these puppies get on fine and these little bitty ones over here get beat up too much. So just be aware of that. Okay, finding homes. Well, I think the first thing to do is start showing your puppies off early. Don't start this process when they're ready to leave at 9, 10 weeks old. So start this beforehand even. I see people who are doing this right, where they're putting up, engagement photographs of this up and coming litter. This girl is being mated with this boy. This is what we expect puppies to come soon. Get some interest in what's going on. So that's the first thing, is pre-advertising. Well, let's talk a little bit about when this is going to happen too. When are these puppies going to leave home? In our opinion, puppies don't leave us until they've had their second set of shots at 9 weeks, with a few days for that to settle down. So our general rule is about 10 weeks. 9.5 weeks, especially if you're local to us, where if you have any issues, you can come back to us. 9.5 weeks onwards is when our puppies leave. All right, pre-advertising. Where are you going to advertise? Well, good places to advertise are YouTube videos. This, you can see me here. YouTube videos are free and you can put things on YouTube. Then you've got social media places like Facebook. Great. They've got even groups of people who are looking for things, particular kinds of dogs with particular groups for Facebook. Make sure you run by the rules, otherwise you can get black flagged on this, because it's not, for the primary purpose of Facebook is not to sell puppies. Then you've got advertising places like the AKC has its own advertising section for puppies. You pay for this. You've got things like Puppy Find. Is a lot of puppies being sold on these places, so there's a lot of competition. But Puppy Find. Then you've got general social media. You've got things like Craigslist. Not a big fan of Craigslist myself for this. Craigslist. A lot of scamming going on Craigslist. I think there may be some local advertising you can do on eBay, possibly. I'm not sure about it. I've never done that. eBay, maybe. I've never done this one here or this one here. I've never done the AKC either. But we are basically Facebook and YouTube is the place. And then of course we have our own website, and so you're trying to get people to go to your website so they can then get a lot more information. And make yourself available too. If you want to sell a puppy, you've got to be able to answer people's questions. And there's going to be objections. And there's going to be people who say things that aren't particularly nice at times. Have a thick skin. Be nice. Answer the questions in the best way you possibly can. Be honest about what you've got. Get good information. If you're selling dogs that are potentially blues and lilacs and platinums, make sure you absolutely know what the DNA of these dogs is. Don't just start guessing at it, because you can get absolutely people upset with you. Somebody paid for a platinum dog and it's a cream dog. They're not going to be happy. So go use places like Animal Genetics. Allow yourself 10 days to get the results back. It's going to cost you about $130 per dog for a full coat color analysis, which is what you'll typically be doing. So be prepared for that expense. But for us, the kind of dogs that we're selling, we always categorically know our DNA and we stand behind it. And so, most of the time we'll do a test. Sometimes because of the parents, we know what the dogs are, but most of the time we'll do tests on all the puppies. All right. Videos. Let's talk about this one, because this is the thing that I do a lot of. Look, in all these videos, you want to, or photographs in general, you want to take good quality pictures and photos. Taking photos is very difficult. You know, if you almost get divorced every time you do this because the dogs won't stay still. You take the picture and their tongue's hanging out and it's very, very difficult to get good photographs. It just, dogs don't, they're not like human beings where you can say cheese. They have no idea what's going on. So in our experience, a much better way of doing this is to take a video, and you can then take screenshots out of the video. So that's a simple, good way of getting decent pictures, is to just do 5 minutes worth of video and then screenshot those videos with your smartphone. Videos themselves are so much easier to take, and they give a lot more information to your potential new homeowners. The thing about a video is, number one, you can narrate the whole thing. So rather than a photograph where you can just write a couple of words, in a video you can talk through the entire thing and talk about how they're raised, what your part of the process is, how long you've been doing this, what the parents are like. You know, you can talk about the good points of these dogs and things that potentially you don't like about the dogs. Now, be honest about this. And then your customer doesn't just see a single picture. They can now see the dogs playing and interacting. They can see their behavior. They can see the dog from the side, from the front. They can see the way it's walking. So much more information on the video. So to me, that's a really good thing to do. And the great thing about doing a YouTube video, even if you don't have a huge following, is it does give you a link that you can now send to a customer. So although not many people may have found you on YouTube, it's very useful when somebody calls you up and says, can I get some more information on puppies? You can say, yeah, love to give you some information. Let me send you a link to YouTube. So you just send them a single link, nothing's to download, it doesn't take, you know, you can be out in the middle of the country and they get the information in a few seconds. They go to YouTube and they click the link and they see the video with the audio in all of its glory. Love videos. Very, very good way of getting information to your customers. Okay, let's have a look what else we got here. Blum, 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 blum. So let's talk about payments. Let's get this off here. So this is about how, this was all about media, pre-advertising. So this is the way you're going to advertise. So we'll just call that one media. So I like videos. Three is what? Three is contracts. Yeah, contracts. I highly recommend that you have a contract in place that explains exactly what you and your customer are going to do in the chance that there's a problem. Nobody wants to talk about problems when they're selling a dog, but it's too late to start talking about problems after they've occurred without a vehicle for how you're going to cope with problems. You know, are you taking the dog back? Are you giving them money back? Are you giving them another dog in place for it? What constitutes a problem? How long will that last for? These all need to be written in the contract. So get yourself a contract. You know, if you're not sure how to do a contract, go on the web, find other people's contracts, take out of it what you like, and make it your contract. Nothing illegal about that. Have a contract. The next one's going to be payments. So, you know, maybe you're giving puppies away to your friends and relatives, great. In that case, you probably don't need contracts or payments. But if this dog is going somewhere, then you need to have a payment, you need to get paid, you need to decide how that's going to happen. So there's people, you'll see things like, oh, I want you to send you money through escrow. The idea behind this is the money goes to a third party, and then you don't get that money until they're happy with what the dog is. I would not do any part of that ever. So to me, you know, I've got a huge reputation. I've got my reputation I need to keep intact. And so that is one of the reasons why people can trust me, is because they can look at my previous records. For those people, there is a certain amount of trust in this. So I've done videos on buying puppies, and I'm not going to touch this in any great detail here, but you've got to remember that this is a two-way street. You're the person selling the puppy, you want to get paid, you want the puppy to go to a home that you're going to be happy with. At the same time, the person who's buying the puppy from you wants to make sure they're not going to get scammed. So you've got to make them happy so they can understand that this is safe. So one of the things that you can do is, for instance, give videos that directly to your customer. So I would encourage you to say, look, if you're interested in my puppy, let's do a FaceTime so you can see this puppy. That way you know that the puppy really exists and I'm honest and I am who I am, as opposed to somebody who doesn't have a puppy at all, who's just trying to fake sell puppies to people. So this kind of goes in with this. I'm just going to put FaceTime down here. I think it's a good idea to FaceTime your customers. But payments, how are you going to take payments? So the problem here is that some of these things are reversible. These are the payment options that I don't like. Certified checks, need to be checked out prior to you receiving the check, because they can be fake, and they actually can get stopped. PayPal absolutely is not safe. There's not safe. So I don't like PayPal. I do take deposits on PayPal, but typically I don't take full payments for things on PayPal because they're notoriously bad, and I've got scammed on this one. So the things that I think are safe, this is the questionable area right here. The safe area, the area that is okay, is things like Western Union are fine. Not many people want to use Western Union because it has a bad habit of being known for scammers. But Western Union, Walmart's a Walmart. These are all, once they've happened, they can't get reversed. Wire deposits to your bank. A check that is cleared, a check that has cleared bank. Of course, if somebody gives you cash, that's wonderful. Be careful where you do these transactions because somebody can stick a gun in your face. So cash. Then I think these are fine. I use these: Venmo, Cash App, and Apple Pay. I use those quite a bit, and I think that I've never had any problems with those. Credit cards are on this side over here. Credit cards are definitely, you may not have a way of taking a credit card, and if you do, credit card transactions are absolutely reversible. So I'm not saying that everybody out there wants to scam you, but you've got to make sure you're doing your due diligence to get paid in a way that you know is safe. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all. I've got a specific video that talks about marketing puppies, and you might review that, and talks about how to put videos together. And it's not like, look at my setup. My setup's pretty much cheap, But when you take pictures of dogs, puppies, put them in a positive, look, if you've got a puppy mill, then I'm not talking to you guys anyway. They're not really the people I think are looking at me. But if you've got a puppy mill, then you've got problems in how you're even going to present your puppies, because puppies. I would never buy a dog from somebody who showed me a puppy in a cage. I just wouldn't do it. But the point here is that when we got our puppies out to play, it's a fun time. This is not just put a puppy up and show it and don't hardly talk about it. We want to show the puppy playing. We want to show the puppies interacting with other people. We want to show the puppies interacting with other puppies and other things like cats and other dogs. So we want to make this playtime, fun time. Let's look at this wonderful video and let's hear about all these puppies, as opposed to making it very mechanical and just not interesting. So put a big smile on, put some decent clothes on, don't take the curlers out of your hair, go get out of your pajamas and have fun with it, but make it an enjoyable video and make it exciting and have a big smile on, because that will help people. And by the way, if you've got kids and they play with the puppies, that's a perfect backdrop behind all of this. Okay, but the one thing else we haven't talked about is how do you price puppies? So how do you price your puppies? So that's another whole thing, prices. Well, look, I think you've got to decide what your market is. Are you selling these puppies to people locally? Are you got a very expensive dogs that you're going to use a nanny service to fly these dogs to other parts of the country or the world? And I think that you need to go look and see what the prices are that these puppies like yours have been selling for. Not what people are asking, but what they're sold for. It's not always the easiest thing to find out, but certainly the information is out there. So there's a wild spread. You're gonna find it much easier to sell girls than boys. Puppies that have good structure will sell much better than ones that look like hell. Ones that have more DNA color in them will probably sell for higher prices. And if you start to get into things like fluffies and very exotic colors, your marketplace has shrunk down and you have a lot of people interested, but you've got high prices and you've got a much smaller market. So just think about all of this. I'm not going to give you specific prices. You can go do your own research on that. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.